Now I've got the designs that I'm going to use in this project, and what we're going to do is take some of these small tiles. These are ceramic tiles that you can pick up very inexpensively from a DIY shop or wherever, a tile shop, whatever. We're going to convert this into a nice matching ceramic fish, the mosaic fish. Now what we're going to do is take the background, and then we're going to put one of the fish on top of it. First of all, what you need to do though is take the background papers. I'm going to make a set of 6, and I've just cut a rough square out. And the first thing I'm going to do is just apply some PVA glue just to the top. I'm going to stick this down and then leave it for an hour or so. Then I'm going to stick it behind. It just stops it all moving around. So all you need to do is give this a thin coat of the glue, the water-based PVA glue. Just put that on there. You don't want it too thick, you want it to be quite thin. Now try to get that square and then just press down like that. It's overlapping all the way around. That means later we can cut it and get a nice edge around the bottom of the side of it there, so it's not white. So first of all, take all 6 and just stick those to the front there, and then just let them dry first of all. Now as you can see, this has been stuck down really well now. I've already started folding over here and sticking down. Stuck really well on the top. Next thing we're going to do is put some glue along here and fold that over. So I've got my glue in my little pot here. It's just ordinary PVA glue. So just along there, I'll fold it back so you can see. Just put it along the edge there. All I want you to do first of all is just do 2 ends first. Let them dry so they can see. I've folded that over there. So that then folds up there, and you can see there, you just press along there. It's like folding a Christmas present. Don't panic if your Christmas presents normally look like they've been thrown together. This is so simple to do. And I like to do these 2 edges first before I do the other edges, then I can keep everything neat and tidy. Now I've got another one here that I did earlier on, so I know that these 2 edges are stuck down really well. Now what you need to do is just lift that up gently and fold in like so. So you get a little angle down the edge there. Do the same with this one. And just squeeze it in there like that. That can fold down there like that. That's going to stick. So you've done the first 2 back ones like that. Nice and crisp and tight here. A little bit of glue again down the inside here. I'm going to put some underneath first. And just pop it in there like that. Little bits of glue inside. Now I'm going to put a little bit of glue underneath the first flap. There, and then along the top there like so. I'm also going to put a little bit there so when that folds over it'll stick down really well. So all you've got to do now is exactly like you did with the others, but you folded these in here to give that little point. So push that down and fold up first, and then run your fingers along the edge there so you get a really nice tight fold here at the edges, and then running your fingers across and down again, you're getting a nice neat fold, and just hold it down. And there you can see that any glue that comes out, just squeeze it. You can see how neat and tidy those corners are, and you can see there you've got the perfect square. Here's one that I did earlier on, and you can see you've got the perfect square there. Now what we're going to do with that is decorate it, varnish it, and then we'll put a little bit of cork on the back, or we can put a little bit of carpet tile on the back, or anything, a bit of felt, and that's how you do the perfect square for doing your coaster. Now one tip is when you're waiting for things to dry, I just use these little these little candles, little nightlight candles, and it just, when you put them on top of there and you've got the glue to dry, just the air circulates. It works really well when you're doing the varnishing on the front, so you're not putting them flat down on the table and maybe a little bit of varnish is on the edge. Just pop them onto one of the candles like that, or you could use lids off bottles or anything like that, and you can dry them this way. My tile is completely dry now, and I'm going to add the fish one by one on each tile. All you need to do is do a very thin coat of the PVA glue on the top there like that. Make sure you cover the whole area, because you want the fish, wherever it touches, to stick down. As I say, you can see I'm using very little. Fish then position where you want. One is going to go there. You've just got a little bit of time to slide it around, and then just from the middle push it out. If you use a little glue like that, it's enough to stick it down, but it's not enough to make it really wet. If it gets too wet, it'll wrinkle. If it does wrinkle, it's not the end of the world. You just press it down with your finger and try and smooth it out. But there's the first one. Now that the paper has dried and it's all stuck down there, I can give it a varnish before I put the backing on. Now the way I like to varnish it is to just do the edges first. Just go around the edges, like so. Just around the edges like that. Now if it drips, if you get a little bit of glue underneath, sorry, a little bit of varnish underneath, don't worry about it, because I've overcome that problem. And overcoming that problem is you just use a top of a jam jar or a bottle, or I've got a little nightlight candle here. Just lay that on the top there, and then you can finish doing the top here. Just give it one coat first, thin coat, and then as many coats as you want to give it. Now as you can see, the tiles have dried beautifully. I've got a nice varnish down the edge here and on the top. I think I've given that about 8 thin coats. And on the back there you can see it's sealed beautifully there now, ready to have a back on. Now if you just plonk that on the table, it's going to be scratching. So what I've done here, I found a very inexpensive carpet tile. You could use a cork tile if you want to, and all I've done is turn that over. It's self-adhesive on the back, and then you place your fish tile on there. Just go around it with a pencil, cut it out, just using an ordinary pair of scissors. It's not tough at all. Put that to one side. So there is your carpet tile. There is the tile that you want it to stick to. Turn that over, and then all you have to do is just peel the backing off here like so. It comes off. Better if you've got nails. There you go. See how you just peel that off, and it's already self-adhesive there on the back. It's a really good self-adhesion as well. And then carefully, if you don't get it right, you can lift it up quickly and layer it down. And you can see there I've stuck that down perfectly. Now you'll see in little areas it overlaps. If that happens, well, even if it doesn't happen, what I like to do is then give it a final kind of trim all the way around. Now what I'm going to do, instead of just cutting it straight down, I'm cutting it on a slight angle so it kind of sweeps back a little bit. So if I just go along here like this with this first one, you can see I've just cut along there. It just trims it up nicely, the carpet. Any bits of fluff and that, it can take off. So then all I'm doing, you see, it's not overlapping there, but all I'm doing is just taking the edge off there on an angle, just giving it a little trim. It just makes it look neater. And just trim along there, trim along there, trim along there. And along there too. It's like shearing a sheep. There you go, you've got all these little bits here, and then when you turn that over, I'll just put those to one side, you can see you've got a nice neat finish there on the front, and there's no carpet sticking out, but then you can see the carpet there. And then all you've got to do is put that down, and that is ready for your cup of tea.